Hi guys, this is Andreas, Sonic Mainliner, and this is Vinyl Finds 105, if memory serves me right. It was quite easy when it was 100, 101, but now with 100 and something, I sort of lost track again, and I didn't check before making this video. Anyway, it's Saturday morning, everyone, I hope everyone's well, and I have some new stuff to show. Not a lot, and because I'm still, as I said, in a currently I'm not buying as much as I would like to, and there's loads of new releases that I would like to get and reissues and whatnot, and things from the want list, and it's just a never-ending sort of process, is it? But I did manage to get some things that I can share with you, and if you're interested, let me know what you think. As per usual. I think that this video, Vinyl Finds video, is also going to be absolute proof that this channel doesn't make any sense unless you're me. Because this is, there's like 4 records, right? Five things. I'm going to show you 5 things that are so desperately different to each other that don't make any sense in one person's channel, but it does because it's me and this is the stuff that I like, right? So first up, some CDs. You might not like CDs, but as I said, it's the music, right? The format is just the format. So I went to FOP. I've shown some other CDs that I got from FOP that are this Japanese reissue thingy, and they have this like obi strip kind of thing, and they have them for like £3 each. So I went there and I found 2 that sort of intrigued me, and there were some other ones that I would have been like, yeah, well, I might have bought these or not. But yeah, anyway, the first one is this one, Rashan Roland Kirk, Rashan, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, Roland Kirk here as Rashan Roland Kirk with the Vibration Society. Roland Kirk, saxophonist, multi-instrumentalist. I guess that you have seen one of his most famous records would be like the Inflated Ear. Inflated Ear. There's an infection there. Inflated Tear. And you've probably seen albums of his with, he's playing 2 saxophones and whatnot. This is an album that I had like I've seen a friend of mine that I think that I've listened to at some point, and I always wanted to get. I'm not sure if I actually did manage to get a copy back home because sometimes it happens. I was seeing an album that I was tagged to by Roger Coleman, and he was like, "Oh, Andreas, like you would like this." It was a Herbie Hancock album, and I know that this is one of my want list albums, but for the life of me, I cannot remember whether it actually made it from my want list to my record collection back home, or whether it stayed on the want list. So it's like, this is one of them, but for £3 it's like fine. Anyway, this is like jazz, hard bop. Don't know. Me talking about jazz, I mean, it's like. Anyway, I can enjoy it. This is I'm on the fence on this one. I'm not entirely sure whether it's like brilliant or not. It's a live recording. From what I've read, it's about a recording that was done like 1969. It's entirely live. It has like, it's not like the song structures are in between. There's like bits that they talk about. There's like spoken word and interludes and whatnot. So it doesn't feel so joined up. But there are bits of it that are just bloody brilliant, and just forget what you were listening to, and then there's like random stuff. So if you're not paying attention, I guess that you need to focus a little bit more on this one. I don't know whether I would recommend it or not, but yeah, as I said, there are bits that are just bloody brilliant. There are bits that are like, I get, you know, it loses me at some points. The one that's playing in the background though is bloody good, and yeah, for £3 it's like, yeah. So this is the Indo Jazz Suite by the Joe Harriet Double Quintet under the direction of John Mayer. So yeah, this is what's playing in the background. So Indo Jazz Suite, Joe Harriet, obviously you probably know him from, you know, a reissue that came out like a few months back, Hamdono, which I've shown as well, and many other people have shown as well. So because it is really good, and this is bloody good, man. I bought it on you know, on the strength of having Joe Harriet here, and because it was £3, and it was like, you know what, it doesn't matter. But it is very good. This is brilliant. I mean, you know, it's playing in the background, so you know. And as I said, that was these are two out of 3 things that I bought when I went to FOP. The third one, and that's now where it sort of gets all over the place. So this is a band that everybody knows. I know because I grew up sort of, you know, hearing their songs on tapes my sister had, seeing their videos on television, and you know, the music videos, which were quite striking, and but I never thought about them too much. Eventually I got a CD box set with their 3 first albums, which I got for shits and giggles, really, because it was like £5, and it was a nice box, and I was like, you know what, yeah, whatever, I'll get it. And I actually played the music, and it's pretty darn good. I mean, you know. Anyway, the band is none other than Duran Duran, and this is Rio. This is their 2nd album. My personal favorite from Duran Duran is the 1st album, but this is like, you know, it has like amazing stuff like Rio, Hungry Like the Wolf. Come on. But this is a record that is solid, you know, from start to finish. It's really good. I recently discovered that Duran Duran ripped off Japan big time. They're just, yeah, shamelessly, really. And Japan were like an older band than Duran Duran. Weirdly enough, I've never gotten into Japan, but I do like Duran Duran. They have a very polished kind of sound, but it's really enjoyable. It's like I don't want to say indie, but it's the indie equivalent from 1982. Anyway, I got this for £10. It's like a reissue that comes with a double, 2 LPs. One record is the actual record. The second one has like mixes from the US, mixes of some songs, which, yeah, I don't personally care that much. But yeah, Duran Duran, Rio, I mean, come on. I mean, you look at this cover and it doesn't get any more 80s than this. I think that the artist that made the cover is like, he's done a lot of similar kind of looking works that sort of defined that aesthetic. Yeah, and you know, aesthetically and musically, it's like sort of defines that era. So it's a really good record. Don't take the piss with Duran Duran. Have a listen. I think that you might enjoy them a lot more than you think. Both Rio and the previous album, the first one, Planet Earth, I think. Anyway, it starts with Planet Earth, which is like the first song, I think, on the first album. They're really good albums. They're really good albums, and you know, it's not fair that, you know, we take the piss out of, you know, some more popular bands from that era, because it's quite good. I enjoy it a lot, and there's nothing more 80s than listening to Duran Duran on vinyl. It's like, it's just, you know, time machine kind of situation. Anyway, and now, as I said, this video is going to prove that, you know, this is a channel that makes no sense to anybody else other than myself. And I've shown 2 jazz records one new romantic, whatever, new wave sort of album. Next one is a new reissue that I just had to get, and it is this one. It's Monte and Marian Zazila, and this is the Black album. Yeah, the Black record actually. I think that it comes under various sort of names. I think it also comes with these numbers and dates, which basically indicate when the songs were written. Now, Monte is a composer, avant-garde, in the same school as Terry Riley. Let me think of some names. Anyway, it's that 60s sort of. It's the Fluxus music movement, where there were a lot of droning music. So who else was in that sort of musical movement? The Taj Mahal Travelers, for example, were considered to be like Fluxus artists, like musicians. And this is a drone piece. I haven't listened to the whole thing. I just got this yesterday. I came to the house, the flat, and played side one, and then zipped off. I haven't listened to side two. It is a drone piece. It is bloody trip music for sure. I mean, the other positive thing about this is that, you know, it's a good opportunity to get acquainted with the music and get to actually own this music, because originals just don't show up. I think this was originally released in the 70s in the German label. This is the second part from the of the Theater of Eternal Music, if memory serves me right, from what I remember. And yes, it's stripped out drone. There's a lot of thought into how the music is played as well. There's liner notes. These are the liner notes about how they sort of recorded it and whatnot, which is very interesting. Side 2 I haven't listened to yet, but it's very interesting because it says, oh, you can play it at 33 and a third, but also you can play at 8 and a third or 16 and 2/3. You know, it's like, you know, plays all over the place. I don't know what it sounds like. It's very intriguing. Anyway, this is theoretically an official release. It says like under license. I don't know if you can see that. Under license. As I said, originals you cannot find. Probably are way too expensive. Absolute like piece of work that is essential in that sort of avant-garde era of music, and it's really good. And it's not just plain noise. It's really trippy and really good. So do check this one out. Monte Marian Zazila. I don't know Marian Zazila. I do know Monte. So anyway. And finally, 13 minutes. And finally, as I said, playing the CD. That was easy. You don't even need to flip the LP, the album. So yeah, technology. Wow, what do they make these days? This is an album that I have known for ages, from when I was a teenage metalhead, and I've read about it in reviews of classic metal at the time. And yes, this is a metal album, but it has, it's a very early metal album anyway. And I always was intrigued because the cover is very intriguing. I never got the chance to listen to it because I never found it and I never bought it. And at some point, 2005 or whatever, I found files, illegally downloaded. And I listened to the hell out of it because it's very enjoyable. And there have been some reissues of this. Originals are, I don't know, they might be sort of expensive, but I don't care that much about them. There has been a picture disc edition of this, and I will show you why there was a picture disc edition of this, because it does make sense. But I didn't want to get a picture disc, but I did get this one because it has been reissued. Now this is Engel. I think that is the pronunciation. Engel are band from LA, I want to say. I think they're from LA. and they recorded this back in the early 80s, so 1980 something. Yeah, I want to say 1980. So yeah, this is Frost and Fire. Now you can see the cover. It's such an epic metal cover, right? I mean, this is the kind of thing that metalheads would put posters on the walls, and you know that, and scantily dressed elf women, I guess, as well. Anyway, yeah, this is like super epic. And if you're a metalhead and if you're young, you see this and you're like, wow, the music must be so epic. I need this. And yeah, it's really funny because I think that this album is not as good as the cover would suggest. The cover is so epic that the music cannot. There's no way it can follow this sort of epic theme. They play a sort of early metal version, which is infused with a lot of hard rock elements. This is an absolute classic. I mean, it's like really classic old metal album. So there is a lot of hard rock here. The voice, the singer's voice is just really terrible. It's like, very nasally. It's quite funny actually. I don't think this is very good, but it sort of adds up to a very interesting and very enjoyable kind of listen. And I really like this. I really, it's quirky and enjoyable. It's fun. It's a really fun record, and it's one of those records I always wanted to have in my collection. This is a really nice reissue from Metal Blade. This is the European reissue. I guess that there might be some. It's like 180 gram vinyl, black vinyl, which is good. 500 copies. As I said, it's the European version, so it means that there's extra care taken in the pressing of the album and having a nice inner sleeve. The cover is a little bit flimsy. The US versions always do a much better job with the cover, much thicker. There's a lyric sheet, so you can read while the record is playing. Yeah. Oh, there's some words about the actual album itself. Yeah. The cover is The Stormbringer, made in 1977 by Michael Whelan. Well, I guess that he's been making all those Dungeons and Dragons kind of. And there's a poster as well. You can hang in your room. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, as I was saying, early metal, nasally vocals, thin production, quite thin. Actually, it doesn't sound as bad. My files were really trebly, but this is really, yeah, it has a little bit more, volume to it. It has a little bit more volume, as in lower register volume. So yeah, really good, and that's it. So 2 jazz albums, one new wave and one early metal album. Does that make sense to you? No, it doesn't, probably, but yeah, that's how I roll. So yeah, if you have a problem with that, dislike the video if you didn't like it, or like it if you did. Leave a comment. If you discovered something new today, which you might have, or if you have any ideas about things that I should be looking out for, essential reissues or releases that I might miss out, because I will buy a record here and there. And subscribe if this is the kind of thing that you're interested in, or unsubscribe if you think this is utter rubbish. And yeah, I will be seeing you around.